Well, it's like anything, people who can speak well and people who do keynotes or run these, workshops and things like that, whether it's personal or business, there's a reason why they're good, and the set of values are all the same, actually, because they understand how to engage people, how to motivate people, how to, touch a nerve, if you like. And that's a fascinating thing, but not everyone can do it.
They call it, well, I've heard the term a few times, it's called piercing people,
right,
in terms of using, I watched this, I don't know, you know who Tony Robbins is?
I do,
if you guys don't know, he's one of the biggest motivational speakers, is one of his things, but I was watching his documentary on Netflix, I Am Not Your Guru, and I never heard him swear before, and I always find it hard to trust someone who doesn't swear.
I agree.
You don't have to swear all the time,
yeah.
It's how we speak, and if you're not, you're holding something back from yourself.
Exactly.
But I watched the documentary, and he's just swearing a lot, and then he it's with reason. There, he would say, "Look, I would swear, and I'd use specific words because I wanted to pierce people. I wanted to put them in a state where either they're a bit sort of taken back by it, and it kind of confronted them." And it would pierce them was the word he would use, but it would basically get them to sort of sit up and listen and go, oh, this is different, which I found sort of fascinating. And I was going to ask you in terms of because you do a lot of public speaking and keynote speaking, I was going to ask you in terms of your sort of preparation for that and what you do in terms of the style. Do you have a certain routine that you go through for that?
Yes, it normally involves puking up. It's funny enough.
You are looking quite skinny, man. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I'm working on my weight. But it involves getting very, very nervous. I've done 20-second talks, as well as 2-hour talks. But yeah, I threw up. I did a media festival in Belfast last year, and I was violently sick before going on stage because I was in my home place, and I didn't want to get it wrong in front of my own people. But actually, it's much easier to go to different countries and do it. So I've done a lot of speaking in America and Sweden and places like that. So routine-wise, having something in your hand is good. A pen, a phone, something that you can tap a rhythm with on your hand, something that you can direct, almost like you're directing an orchestra.
Yeah.
Or directing yourself.
A lot of the time you have, if it's like a slide thing, you have the clicker. Yeah.
I mean, I try to show as much content as possible to give myself little breathers.
Yeah.
And to stay focused on what I'm going to say next. But also, there's a rhythm to speaking, isn't there? And again, once you've done that piercing or that sort of, I would prefer to say, you've engaged people emotionally with something to shock them at the start. That's a good starting point, but also to never get too wound up about your own or engrossed in your own storytelling or your own voice. Actually, it's better to always speak with a tone of voice for the audience, if you know what I mean. Get there, almost show them themselves.
Okay, so you can use your own experience to relate to them. There's got to be a point to it rather than just talking for the sake of it, you mean?
Yeah, be relatable and also point out, like any good comedian will tell you, point out the crassness and ludicrous aspects of human nature, for example.
Yeah.
Just show them human nature back to themselves, and the audience really, really gets that. So
it'll resonate. You're hoping to basically have something to resonate with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also important to be very, very localized when you're talking. Don't just the patter cannot be the same as it was in the last place you did it, in the last audience.
Is that because you take it into account that the audience is different? If you're speaking a speech in Scandinavia, for example, it's a different tone or different style to if you're doing a talk in America or Belfast.
Right. Well, of course, and a bit of local knowledge is good. Again, like a comedy show.
Hello Belfast. Yeah. Hello Stockholm.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is, you turn up and we've all seen artists and bands that turn up and say, "Hey, where are we?" You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's just another speech or another performance. So So if it's in Dublin, I think the last time I spoke in Dublin at a media summit, I said I'm just down here to get my passport for Brexit, right? So because we can get an Irish passport.
Yeah,
and that worked. And that get rid of the northern bias. But a bit of local knowledge, a bit of understanding the audience in general. It could be a different type. It could be a bunch of media people. It could be a bunch of marketers. It could be young people. Be specific to your market. Tailor what you're saying to the audience you're saying it to, and then invite them to contribute to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. I was just thinking while we were talking about that, I could probably draw a lot of parallels between the public speaking and what you do for there and the digital world in terms of your audience and trying to engage and speak with them and make them a part of it too.
Absolutely. Again, it's back to the sort of being as normal as possible. I do try to when I'm doing speaking and so on, I do try to make fun of myself as much as possible.
I think
to be relatable.
I think absolutely. I think that helps massively. I know if someone's talking, they make a joke or make them they put themselves in the position where they're like, you can laugh with and at them.
Yeah.
It helps kind of put everybody at ease and go, okay, this is I don't know. It engenders a certain vibe in the audience. I like.
Well, that and swearing. Swear.
I'm a fan of swearing.
Yeah. So honestly, using the F word, dropping the F bomb in the middle of a core statement, it's very empowering and very powerful. I did a talk at Media City recently, relatively recently, and Moira, my good friend who put me on as such, I said to her, "Was that okay?" And she says, "Oh, the students are really engaged and really wound up. Love the swearing." It's the only time you can get away with swearing so much in an esteemed academic circle. So